before I get started, is my mic working and is everybody hearing me? I know people have been waiting for a bit. I'm so sorry for that. Let's see the chat if people can hear me. Then loud and clear. All right, amazing. Yeah, let's get started. Let me open the questions from Podge as well here, and let's get started. Yeah, I have some really big announcements. Some I make, but it's you're catching me in the middle. We're catching us in the middle of like this really hardcore deep work, like 24/7 working, but it's going great. I think the market obviously is is yeah, it's in an interesting spot. Well, I would say, like, I still, I'm a big believer in decentralized financial structures, and that's also what I just had a call about, right? So we were talking with some big hedge funds and some very big money players, and you can see now, like these financial games, like that's why they're also called like financial games. It's just like some hot potatoes, moving them around. And it's like, wow, like what we see now with Trump and the tariffs is like, oh my god, like it's a bunch of children that are stuck in this fiat game. Xi Jinping sitting in his presidential chair. I'm gonna put in 127 tariffs. Trump ending the war on showers, and then you get putting 200% tariffs on China. Like it's a very interesting market. It's kind of exposing itself. Like, oh my god, like are these people running the running the financial markets? Like, oh my god, like I'm not sure if I want to get exposure to that, right? So the future is on chain. The future is decentralized, and the future is in an inspectable ledger, right? Like imagine like, hey, I'm an investor in the S&P 500, and the S&P 500 crashes. What is going on? I would like to inspect all the flows. Who's selling? Who's buying? What's happening? You can semi do that in traditional finance, but not as good as in DeFi, right? So the world is moving on chain. Yeah, I just had a call with this bigger hedge funds, and they're really interesting in our MaxLT architecture. And I would like to kind of, before I dive into the questions, just talk about it a little bit. I know I did that in the past. I just high level kind of want to do that again, because it showcases that the stack that YieldNest has is very advanced. There's still a lot of work that we need to do until a certain extent, but I do want to share some of the new kind of directions that kind of follow the stack that we already built, right? And I think that's important. So let's go. Let me get started here, right? So, all right, everyone. I think everybody in this AMA is like familiar with how these products work, and I would kind of just, before I answer all the questions, just go over that a little bit more and tell also some of the new ideas and the new, like, kind of the evolution of these things. And it's happening all very fast. All that I know and see now is that we picked the right base architecture, right? Because a user comes in, the user wants to have a simple way to get in and out of a derivative, right? The derivative in this case could be ETH, BNB, Bitcoin, or stablecoin, right? We are actually able to create many more derivatives, but obviously, like that's why we also want to do our TGE. We're having a strategic round. In order to scale that, like we need a DAO. We're going to say like, hey, we need a new feature or a new integration, and we just give that as kind of a task for the DAO to build that integration, and we integrate with it, right? So obviously, like, coming to the stage where we are now, this has taken a lot of time. And in DeFi and in crypto, we always follow the new shiny objects, and there's all these bells and whistles. And YieldNest also, of course, wants to promote their services, but we are also in heart, we are a technology company, and I'm in DeFi for a very long time, and we just want to build good products. So with all those years of me thinking about how to build DeFi structured products, we kind of came to the conclusion of this strategy. User comes in, there's a very simple vault that is holding the user's tokens. This can be multiple assets. It's a 4626 standard, so it very easily integrates with all the other standards, right? And the ynETHx assets, you can just add them. You can call the contract and call the rate itself and integrate it. With a lot of these other products, you have to integrate a product, get the rate from somewhere else, and it's a bit more complicated. We designed these kind of max LST products to be very easily integratable and very flexible in the back end, and that's where I go next. So then the next step is, okay, you have this vault with assets, and they go in this case, like we only build assets with like-minded assets. We do not build index vaults yet, but index vaults is actually something with this architecture that we could also easily build. I don't want to go there yet because I first want to really complete these max LST products, get at least to $1 billion of TVL, and then grow the stack further, right? And with these max LSTs, for example, ETH, you can have multiple strategies underlying across different chains, right? And what we're actually seeing right now is like we see that sometimes on base there is this ETH strategy that earns 30%, and sometimes it's on another chain. So we're ready for that world. That world was before, when the on-chain activity was hot. That was the world. Right now, it's obviously kind of hard now to get like really hardcore on-chain yields, but we're still holding up strong, and the vaults are still doing well because we're having also a lot of other different strategies in that stack, right? And it's a beautiful structure that is very flexible, and we can remove strategies and assets into this quite easily, and they all sync to one asset. In itself, this is kind of like never really fully been done in DeFi. Like some of these protocols have built, there's a Reserve protocol, 600 million FTV, by the way, but their stack is not as advanced as our stack. They can do baskets, or they can do certain things like that, right? But their accounting is not on chain, it's not fully decentralized, and it's like there's a lot of things they're missing that we already have. So that's a very bullish thing for me that I found out this week. It's like, oh, we actually are quite far along compared to some of the competitors, right? And what we also want to integrate here is I actually wrote about this in the governance forum, and this is an idea we're playing with, integrating junior and senior tranching, right? So if you get the ynETHx token, if you just buy it, or any of the max LSTs, you get the senior tranche. So you get the base yield, risk adjusted, safe, secure. Then if you stake the token, you get the junior tranche, and the junior tranche goes a bit more up the risk curve, but you have to stake the token for that, a certain capacity. But because your junior and senior tranche these different max LST products, the yield profile for both the products go up, right? The risk profile for the senior tranche increases a little bit, but it's protected by the junior tranche. So that's something that I'm really bullish on, and our stack is perfectly designed to fulfill these kind of future needs for the protocol. Also, what we're working on is a dynamic withdrawal fee. So there is a zero withdrawal fee if you put it in the queue, and then there's a dynamic withdrawal fee if you just instantly want the money out of the system. This dynamic withdrawal fee is good because that all goes back to the people that stay in the vault. Currently, also the ynETHx vault or the ynE vault, there was some commotion. People were not really understanding these withdrawal fees, but the withdrawal fees are not going to YieldNest. The withdrawal fees are going to the vault itself. So if you the people that stay into the vault, right? So overall, the way that these max LSTs now are constructed give YieldNest a perfect starting point and a perfect position to do these these different strategies, and to structure DeFi products in a way that they're ready for any future strategies we find. We're ready for any future possibilities, and it's just a much better way to structure these components. That's a lot of information. I hope that was all clear. I just wanted to really share that with everyone, that I'm very bullish on that. That I do think we picked the right direction. There is still a lot of work to do, and it's also for YieldNest, it's kind of really hard decision right now. Like YieldNest is TGE ready. So besides the cool MaxLRT products that I've shown, in the latest call, I went over the ynD and ynD tokenomics, but now with the liquid lockers also confirmed, that stack is fully done. So like YieldNest is ready to do a TGE. We are just like when to do it, what is the best timing. I'm actually of the opinion that, I think we should just like do it, because like even if the token kind of goes down, we just just like survive, and we keep on delivering products that make revenue, right? So YieldNest did make over 200 to 250k revenue with the ynETH and other products, not with the max vault yet, because the max vault do not charge any fee that goes to YieldNest yet, and we do that on purpose because we want to first really promote the vault and get people familiar with the architecture, get feedback, and then at some point there will be a fee switch, and we're still kind of exploring what is the best strategy for that. And that will be in a governance forum, etc. We do make revenue with some underlying strategies, and these revenue from these strategies will all flow back to the ynD token holders. Once the token goes live, the revenue generated will buy back the ynD tokens from the market and distribute the ynD tokens back to the people that stake the ynD or the staked ynD, right? So yeah, that's a lot of information that I just wanted to say before I dive into the question. So I hope that's clear. And as I said, yeah, it's a big decision for us. We are TGE ready. We even got an. I really want to say that like there is a, let's say it this way. The B exchange is interested, and a lot of other sex partners are reaching out. That is a crazy game, because like all these centralized exchanges, I kind of hate them, if I'm honest, because in general, I would say a centralized exchange charging a project more than $60,000 for a listing is just criminal. Even $60,000 for a centralized exchange listing, in my opinion, is way too much, because what do you get with a centralized exchange listing? It's just an entry into a database of that exchange, right? At the end of the day, I want to focus more on a DeFi focused launch, but we do get a lot of great offers now from some of these centralized exchanges. It's a really difficult decision, like, because some of the costs there are quite high, and it's just like, well, is it worth it or not? It's hard to judge, especially in these market conditions. Or should we just? I don't only want to do an on-chain kind of launch, but yeah, there's a lot of things there. Kraken, for example, I love Kraken because Kraken doesn't charge any listing fees, and we are in the conversations with Kraken, and MEXC is already confirmed, and we have a lot of the big ones, OKX, Binance, and others are in conversation. So that it's actually for projects quite rare to talk to, and the reason why Binance really likes YieldNest is because we do have a lot of TVL on the Binance chain as well. We have a lot of we have a high TVL. Our products are holding up very well. Yeah, exactly. MV, like Kraken is a really good guys, and Kraken is also my personal go-to exchange if I need a centralized exchange. I didn't use a centralized exchange, I think, for over 3 years now. Or 3 years. I really am a DeFi only kind of person. I only use DeFi, OTC if I need some cash. So I don't use these centralized exchanges at all. So I'm thinking to myself, like, what the hell? Like decentralized exchange, what kind of people actually still use decentralized centralized exchanges, right? Like, I would prefer to have a community with only people that understand that centralized exchanges are mostly a scam and just bullshit. So let's yeah, it's true, man. Like it's really high, and I'm like, well, yeah, during the bull market, right? But what is interesting, like we did start these conversations with Binance and KuCoin and Kraken, where it was first kind of quiet, But now, after the market takes a bit of a turn, they come back because I'm a good negotiator. So I'm like, well, if the deal is not good, I'm just not gonna do it, right? Think about it. It's actually kind of ridiculous, like you're investing in a project, and the project, yeah, you list on KuCoin, but in the back of your mind that then they paid $1 million. But this was during the bull market. I think the prices are coming down really quickly right now. I can see that happening. So it's great because there's no reason why a centralized exchange should charge more than $60,000, right? Because for them, for a central exchange, why would they charge so much money? The only thing that they need to do is basically add your token to a centralized database and add some liquidity and market making, right? That's a different story. There's another thing to have, right? Because on the market making side, yeah, that's a whole different story. But yeah, you need to have, they call it liquidity around the tick, right? So if let's say you have, you're gonna list on Kraken, for example, Kraken does demand. Well, you want to have a spread, and the market maker needs to make sure that the token doesn't get too volatile, and the volume needs to be there, etc., etc. So yeah, I get that, right? But that's how the exchanges should make money. Yeah, I'm digesting a little bit, but yeah, it's great to be here with everyone. And yeah, I really like to just be open and honest about these things. Like, it's hard for us to be like, when do we do this token launch? Like, when do we do it? We kind of have a really good direction and a really good idea how to do it on chain. The gauge systems are ready. Everything is good to go. Our product is at an okay stage. The vision, I hope, what I just explained with the max RTs is clear. We have our Nest AI is going the right direction. So like everything is falling into place, right? So that I'm very, very positive about that. Yeah, try to strike a good deal with them. Times are hard, yes. Getting more for more leverage, sometimes the best move. Yeah, exactly, and that's especially what we did, right? Because we originally were like, yeah, let's do a TG in November already. I'm happy we waited a bit longer because now we have way better product stack. We have our liquid lockers. We have, you will be able to have like ynD, vynD, and SDynD, and in the future maybe convex even, right? We're talking with those guys as well. Great. Like, so I'm very more confident of actually launching a token right now. But at the same time, I also want to explore these listings that are now coming back to me, right? Like, do we want to go on KuCoin? Do we want to go on OKX? Do we want to go on Binance? Like, what are the exact terms? So yeah, we're all exploring that again and going over those deals again. And in the meantime, working our asses off in keeping the strategy yields relatively high. ETH yield is holding up really well. ynETHx is going great. ynETHx is going to get a completely an upgrade at some point. And that's actually tokenizing these launchpad rewards. ynETHx is going to get listed on Pendle. We on the BNB chain, so very, very happy for that. That means that we can start to trade PT, YTs there as well and speculate on the future Binance INDO airdrops, and you can start to speculate on those yields. Like, is the ynETHx now generates like a base yield? I didn't check for a while. I think it's like 20% or so. Yeah, so ynETHx is now generating 29%. But yeah, obviously, like the ynETHx product is a very special one, right? Because there is a great yeah, there's a great setup there. Okay, and there is like great ways to earn the base rewards there. Yeah, fantastic. Yeah, and also the ETH products doing very, very well as well. So we're very excited with the stack that we have. We're very excited the direction we are taking here. Yeah, I'm very much looking forward to release our full governance stack and get everyone a little bit more involved. I also really personally want to thank everyone that has submitted a strategy in the Max LRT strategy chats. Amazing. I really love to see that, right? Because we need to get that back, that kind of on-chain exploration. And hey, is that actually fully secure? How can we get the base? How can we get like on-chain real yields, right? Like not just points, but there is a lot of really cool strategies. The ynETHx, ynBNBX loans, the Liquidity V2, stability pool compounder, the tranching model, the LRT, ynETH stablecoin strategy, the ynETHx LRT PT looping strategy, and some other more, and the Delta and many more strategies. I'm very happy with the output there. So personally, big thanks to everyone that submitted the strategy there. We will come back to this next week, and we will. This is kind of like a start for us as well to see like, okay, how do we govern these different MaxRT baskets, and how do we best move forward with those, right? So great, thanks for that. Okay, that was a really long intro, guys. I just really wanted to share all that information in a short bite. I hope everything is clear. Now let me dive into the 10 questions that I got. And then I also leave the room open. Please drop any more questions or direct information you want from us in the chat, and I will respond to everything very openly and very directly. Thank you so much. Okay, first question I got here is, what are the most exciting things happening inside YieldNest right now? The community might not see yet. Oh yeah, okay. I think the first question I kind of already responded, right? Like we're working on a lot of really cool tranching strategies, and we're working on with a lot of bigger players that are all very interested in going on chain, and how does it work? And they have all a little bit of risk averse appetizing, right? So how does that work? So yeah, exciting times indeed. And I hope I answered that question. But if more questions, let me know. Has NestAI received any recent updates improving? Yes, for sure. You can go to the NestAI website, and let me actually Nest. Let me go there. Yeah, and it's unfortunate. The Nest AI token, right? This was an experiment. It's kind of the first sub-DAO from YieldNest. Experiment with the virtual tokens. When we launched, it was at a really healthy level. Oh, it's going a little bit more up today. But like, yeah, generally, obviously, it's not been easy for yeah. So yeah, it's not been easy for AI projects in DeFi, right? But we have a terminal coming up. So I just shared the NestAI beta release. The beta release will actually showcases actually the more final version of what the product will be, right? So NestAI itself, the first sub-DAO from YieldNest, will have a way, one for the MaxRT strategies to improve the data and strategy input, and for users themselves, they can go to NestAI, they can create a wallet, and you can actually see the whole flow. If you go to the website, there's some images that kind of display how it works. You create a wallet, and it's a multi-sig. So it's a one side is NestAI, one side is yourself, and then NestAI starts to tell you a bunch of things like, hey, I think your portfolio looks great. You need to invest more in ynETHx or ynBNBX or whatever, and it will help you construct strategies, and it will, instead of you having to go to all these interfaces, you say, yeah, I want to execute that. Then SAI will, you can ask questions to it, and it will actually propose transactions for you that you can agree with or disagree with, right? You can see that right here, and especially in the third slide. I should probably share my screen for that. I think it's actually a really cool feature that we don't really showcase enough because we're just really busy building. Let's go, right? So here, you create a wallet. Then if you create a wallet, you get this interface. And with this interface, you can then start to talk to it. So you can start to talk to it. You say, hey, can you please help me? I want to make $1 million and I have $1,000. How does it do? Then it will say, well, making $1 million is hard, but you can start by auto-compounding your yields. And auto-compounding yields, you can go ETH on Aave, or you can do Apache Finance, or you can go in the ETH ynETHx liquidity pool. So it will give you a couple of strategies. And this is obviously very nice for users that maybe are not as experienced with DeFi as I think all of you here on this call, and they have to stake a certain amount of ynD or Nest tokens or both, and then get access to that, right? So the Nest AI kind of functions really as a sidecar and a promoter for YieldNest, and it will help people optimize their portfolio that are maybe not that capable themselves of doing all these actions on chain, and then obviously motivate them to look at YieldNest, right? So it's a great automated AI advanced promoter 24/7. What have you learned from third questions? What have you learned from the recent phase of growth? Yeah, I've learned that thinking fast and thinking slow, and I've learned that nothing at all and everything at once. So we are getting more momentum, and it's all basically coming at once at you. And then before we were working so hard on ynETH, where that was a bit more two focused directions only on native restaking, which we spent a lot of time on native restaking, where now we kind of learn like, well, the restaking yields are not going to come anytime soon, so we need to do something. We need to be flexible, and that's why we designed the max RT strategies. Max RT strategies make us way more flexible than with what we had before. So that's my biggest learning. Always stay flexible, especially in DeFi, but that's, I think, general advice for any person running a startup or doing business. All right, number 4. What does success look like for YieldNest by the end of 2025? For me, that is $1 billion in TVL and around probably ynD token to $1, right? So that's a $1 billion or probably more than maybe probably $2 billion TVL and a $1 billion market cap for our ynD token in FTV, right? That would be fantastic. Then I call it a huge success, and then I'm gonna fight to make that happen. And I think we're at a good stage to make that happen. And I'm still very convinced, and motivated and excited to build this stack, right? All right. Question number 5. As DeFi matures, let me actually drop the questions in the chat. I'm not sure if I can do that. It's kind of nice for everybody to see the questions right here, right? Yeah. That's not really clear. I'm sorry. Now let's remove that. Yeah. Okay. But anyway, okay. Moving on. Question number 5. As DeFi matures, where do you see the biggest opportunity for protocols like YieldNest? Yes, as DeFi matures, I see a huge opportunity in trust and resilience. YieldNest is now building for over a year, and actually for over 2 years. Like if you calculate also all the the thinking and the research, right? It's I think blue chip protocols will do very well in the upcoming stablecoin boom, right? Especially something like Curve or Convex or Yearn or Frax, and I think all these, my opinion is really that all these protocols are coming back really hard. And YieldNest is obviously a protocol that is really connected in that ecosystem. Now also really connected in the BNB ecosystem, and I think there's going to be a nice play between those two. And we're also going to Hemi. We're going to also explore the BTC ecosystems. And more things. So I think if DeFi matures, it's going to move even faster. And the decentralized financial stack of YieldNest is very well versed at that time and very much also mature. So I'm bullish that DeFi matures and YieldNest matures, right? I'm bullish that the DeFi stack is improving. I'm bullish that our technology stack is improving. I'm bullish that our financial stack is improving. And that I see as the biggest opportunity for YieldNest. Right, question number 6. Will there be an airdrop waves or community reward programs down the line? Yeah, great question, right? Like, yes, there will be, right? So we will split up the airdrop in 3 phases, I call them. But I personally never really like the point system, although it's great now for the first phase, because we don't have a token yet, right? And we want to account everybody's rewards, etc. Although, I always say the ghosts of Satoshi are still hunting me for having to release a point system. I'm more of a token guy, right? Because, speculation, top of speculation, I rather just show people like, here you go, this is the ynD token, this is the market price, this is the revenue, and you decide yourself if you either want to keep the ynD, sell it, buy more, whatever. I'm a bigger believer in that. So probably after the TGE, we will get rid of our point system and just do tokens. Make it more clear for the users and focus on making a shitload of revenue for people so that they feel that they want to buy the token, right? That you create a floor for the token. That is what I'm focused on, right? And that's what I want to do. Yeah. What's the team approach for to backtesting and simulating strategies before they go live? Yeah, great question. So right now, the strategies that we employ are relatively low risk. The only thing that could potentially happen is that the buffer runs a little bit low, but then people just have to wait a little bit, right? That could happen. But for the rest, there's almost no risk for principal loss or things like that, or Binance needs to get hacked or Curve needs to get hacked, right? So there's not really that type of advanced like backtesting and those things, because we do not really go up that kind of risk curve. But I just actually came off a call where we are exploring those strategies in order to keep the yield competitive. Obviously, before there was a lot more on-chain yields where you could kind of rebalance between. Right now, it's harder, and we need to probably look at basis trades or other things, which, yeah, that's more risky, and there will be more backtesting involved. And also, don't worry, like any of these strategies will not be randomly integrated. There's going to be quite a longer process. So the YieldNest max LSTs are not going to be the most fastest and most quickest and sexy, but they're always going to be the highest base risk adjusted rewards. That's what we want to focus on, right? So TLDR, we're working with external hedge funds in order to simulate and backtest strategies. YieldNest is a technology company, so we build tech, and for these more financial primitives, we are looking at partners like Dialectic or Edge Capital or Sequoia or any of the other partners we're working with that can help us with more complex financial modeling. That's not our bread and butter, but that's other people's bread and butter that did that for many years. So we will kind of combine external approaches for that. All right, going to question number 8. Will users be able to earn boosted rewards or governance power through long-term staking or locking mechanism? Yes, 100%. I would encourage everyone, let me drop the link again in the chat, to go to our docs. You can see quite an advanced write down of how we do that, right? So if you stake your ynD tokens, you will get rewards, and that goes up over time the longer you stake, right? So if you stake, you have like one-to-one power. The longer you stay, your power goes up, and if you then want to unstake, you have to burn the power, but you get back to principal ynD that you staked, right? It's a very, I think, a very elegant, simple mechanism that will attract more people to participate in the VE DAO token economics. All right. Yeah. What role do you see for community contributors in shaping the protocols beyond just voting? Yes, great question. I see the community input in a lot of different ways. One of the biggest ways where I think the community can earn money and be helpful is finding new strategies, is in participating in like strategy management, is participating in new initiatives that they can propose or vote on. And I see not just a voting thing. There's actually probably going to be more liquid lockers that will do voting together with community input. And I see that there will be a community in the future that's going to be a very smart community that understands DeFi and that is helping YieldNest with certain risk mitigations or certain strategy opportunities to investigate new strategies to optimize yields and to help YieldNest to battle the vast landscape of on-chain DeFi. And I also see the community as a beacon of light in the vast, confusing lands of decentralized finance to educate each other in learning more about what it means to be a self-sovereign individual and how to, keep your money stored yourself and how to make sure to structure your taxes maybe in a better way, or how to structure your DeFi strategies in a better way, and how to maybe do some external strategies together. I saw that 0x Law joined, for example. Like, great, amazing to have you here, sir. And yeah, he's a fantastic, smart community member, similar to all of you here. Also, I see MV, I see BVM, I see Mr. Jumper, I see Crypto Enthusiast, I see Hin, Mike. And yeah, I see a lot of really cool people in the community that can all work together to improve strategies and enhance these strategies and help each other also to become better on-chain and live more self-sovereign lives, right? All right, moving on to question number 10. If you could give one message to new YieldNest just joining now, what would it be? Yeah, if you could give one message to new YieldNest joiners, what would it be? Yeah, I would say to new people that just join YieldNest or DeFi for the first time, it's a different landscape, right? Like, I would say read the Satoshi white paper. Like, I mean, as a newcomer in DeFi, start there, and then understand that, yeah, we need on-chain peer-to-peer money systems, right? That's great. Then think about how and why would we need peer-to-peer on-chain decentralized financial systems. I think that's where everybody needs to start, because if you understand the legacy financial system, as Henry Ford said, like, once people understand the financial system, there will be riots on the streets tomorrow. Well, instead of there being riots on the streets tomorrow, we can also all just build better products ourselves and build a peer-to-peer money system that's fully transparent with products that we trust and like, and stake your money into these products. And then let's work together to build out these new financial systems, right? That's what I would say to a newcomer. Like, before even you invest any money, before you YOLO into something, just don't do that. Like, first understand why. Like, why would you want to keep some of your capital on a blockchain? That's the first question. Well, you want to have control over your money. Then the second question is like, well, okay, I have some money on the blockchain. Can I earn yields with this? Yes, you can. And while doing so, you can also overall help the overall decentralized financial ecosystem, right? So that's what I would say to a user. Like, first, start with the why. Like, if you invest money in this new blockchain revolution, be sure that you understand why. Like, why do you do that? Like, why are we here? Of course, we all want to make money, sure, and that's great. That's a great motivation. But we also want to make a lot of money and not having to have an annoying government stealing half of it, right? Or I want to have the freedom to just travel to a different place in the world and just, use my crypto and maybe go to an OTC desk or something, right? Like I don't want to, in traditional finance, if you invest in a certain fund or something, you have 3 months drawdown and stuff like that, right? So yeah, that's what I would say. All right, I've been through all the questions. Amazing Friday. It's Friday, April 11th. Fantastic. And I hope that everyone got all the responses and answers to any questions they have. If there is any more questions, please let me know. Happy to respond to one more question if need be. Else, I'm gonna sign off. I have a lot of work to get back to. Thank you everyone for joining. I really appreciate it. I see MV typing. I see other people typing. Please, I'll take care. Okay, great. Yeah, let me know if there's any more questions. I'm always here for you guys, and we're in this together. Maybe closing up with a little bit of a motivational thing, right? Like I have been in the crypto market since 2012, 2011 actually, and I joined full time in 2015. And I've been to a couple of these cycles. I must say that this is by far the weirdest time to be in crypto because, like, everything is looking great. Especially on the ETH side, it's just like, oh my god, like ETH is actually doing great, right? It's gas is lower, like Pactra is coming, like all these components are falling into place. What is happening in our markets? Well, I still believe in a peer-to-peer decentralized financial system, and it seems to be that also the what we EPTC is really really bad, but it's more also from a technology perspective, not only from an investor perspective. We're gonna have our stablecoin live, we have our BNB product live, BTC product live soon. So there's going to be different ways to profit, to earn yields in different ways. It's hard. I would say always protect yourself, right? Like never ever invest way too much. Make sure that you have some protection and also have some exposure, right? Because in these times, mostly, I don't want to give any financial advice, but like myself, I'm slowly buying a little bit again, right? Like I did allocate most of the capital in the past, but after I've seen some situation with the tariffs, I went a little bit more risk off. But I soon will start to allocate back. Yeah. So I obviously also don't know the exact details there. ETH markets less and less revenue. Yeah, there is revenue. Well, the thing is that actually there's a lot of stable coins coming on. The revenue side is a bit of a difficult discussion, right? Because how does ETH make revenue? I think ETH is more of a sounds really weird right now, right? But more of a store value asset actually. And like BTC, but then actually better because it's more composable and you can do more things with it, right? Now these upgrades that are coming up, I think BTC ETH are going to be fine in the future. Well, it could be Q3 or the end of Q2 because June, July are generally a little bit harder months, but it could also not be the case this year. And yeah, it's just like believe in something, like understand why are we still here, right? Because also really happy to see everybody here joining. It's also kind of hard to stay in a more bearish market sentiment. It's like fuck, okay, yeah, we all want to get rich, but what else do we want, right? What is the other reasons why we're here? Yeah, think about that and make convictional decisions that you believe in. And I'm not saying that that's good or bad, but yeah. Oh, I got a great question. I will answer this last question, and then I'm gonna sign off and go back to work. Yeah, Trade Pilot. This is a good question. So, how do you see the high gain vaults, so ynETHx vaults? Yeah, so the high gain vaults are also great, right? I see there's also a lot of potential there. The difference is more that we do all the accounting on chain, where the high gain vaults do a lot of like accounting off chain, and they charge a performance fee of I think 2%. We don't do that. We don't charge any performance fees. What you see is what you get, and it's composable, etc. And of course the seeds. I think we will blow most of these vaults out of the water in our full form. Obviously, Kelp is doing great. They're a bit longer added than YieldNest, but I do think from a technology stack perspective that we have a better technology setup with a bit more future-proof way to stack different yields and not just points, but also other real yield perspective. That's how I see it. Right. Yeah. Amazing. Amazing AMA. I'm really happy to have talked about these different perspectives and different questions. And let's call it a night. Talk to everybody very soon. Thank you so much, and talk to you guys later. Thank you. Really appreciate everything, every one of you. Stay strong, stay liquid, and don't stress out too much about the market. Touch some grass. Read a couple of papers. And stay strong, guys. We're gonna make it. And now it's time to be convicted. Thank you, guys. Appreciate everybody. Thank you. Bye bye.